No parent can stand the sound of their crying little baby. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were not any different when our son was very little. And because of that, back in the days, we developed a checklist of 10 things to check to make our son happy again as fast as possible.
Yes. So in this video, we will first go through our checklist to help you find out why your baby is crying. And of course, we will also tell you what you can do to help your baby stop crying.
Yes, this is Nathalie, a pregnancy and birth consultant and TCM therapist.
And that's Mathias, a researcher and Science Geek, and we help expecting mommies and their babies naturally and science-based.
It's great to have you here. Let's get started. Okay, so you may think now that we are complete weirdos, but back in the days when our son was very little, we had like a saying that helped us remember what we needed to do when our son was crying. And that saying goes, do this, baby. Does it help, or do you just need a cuddle? And before you think, okay, now they are losing it, let us briefly explain how this can help you when your baby is crying.
Yes, so the first thing we checked was always his diapers. We are not gonna lie to you, there were babies who couldn't care less if their diaper is wet or dirty.
Yes.
They will smile anyways,
Yeah.
but that was not our son,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the fastest and easiest way to do was always to check if we need to change his diapers. And in many cases, that was all that it took to make him happy again.
Yes, the next check is T for temperature. So we are talking about the question if baby is over or underdressed, because obviously babies don't like to be too hot or too cold, right? Now, here is a very simple rule of thumb. When your baby is dressed appropriately, baby's tummy will be warm and baby's toes may be just a bit cool. But if your baby is warm all over and flushed or breathing rapidly at the same time, well, then baby is overdressed. And finally, if baby's tummy is cool and the skin is blotchy, baby's not dressed warm enough.
Right.
So very simple if you know what to look out for, and that could be the very reason why your baby is crying. So try it.
Yes. The next check is B for burp. Sometimes burping doesn't work right after a baby eats. It may only release later on. But because the esophageal sphincter muscles in their throat are only just developing, they need some support with burping. Therefore, all that it takes sometimes is holding the baby in an upright position and to rub or to pat their backs so that they're able to burp. And then that discomfort should be gone, which should help them stop crying.
Yes, the next check is D for dummy. If your baby has a dummy, then losing that dummy is like a major disaster for your baby, right? So help your baby get that dummy back in there. It might just do the trick.
Yes, the next check is T for tired. Babies need to sleep a lot. Therefore, one of the main reasons why babies are crying is because they are tired.
Yes, but here's the problem. If your baby is crying because baby is tired, then it is already too late, because that means that baby is overtired, right? And in such cases, it is very, very difficult to make a baby stop crying and also to make them fall asleep. And so a better approach here would be to avoid this from happening in the first place by introducing a nap routine.
Right.
We show you how to do that in one of our videos that you can find in the description below this video. In the meantime, you can try the alternative soothing methods that we are going to talk about later in this video.
Yes, the next check is hunger. Babies often show that they are hungry by giving certain cues.
Yes, for example, your baby may open their mouth and turn toward anything that touches baby's lips, or maybe your baby makes lots of body movements or brings their hand toward her mouth, or maybe your baby thrusts out their tongue often. Those are typical signs that baby is hungry.
Yes, and by the way, babies often do this long before they start crying.
Yeah.
So watch out for those cues.
Yes, and then if nothing had helped so far, we concluded that our son cried because he just needed a cuddle. Because the reality is that sometimes all baby wants is your attention,
Yeah.
right? And now you probably understand the idea behind our saying, do the 6 checks that we talked about first. If they don't work, they might just need a cuddle in order to stop crying. And really, most of the times, one of those things was indeed the reason why our son was crying. So we were quickly able to give him what he needed to make him stop crying, right?
Yes, but it did not always work. And whenever that was the case, we assumed that there must be a more profound underlying
Yeah.
cause. So if those things did not work, we did 2 more checks. First, we checked if he could be sick.
Yes, I mean, most of the times you already have a feeling that your baby may be sick, right? They suddenly behave cranky, they cry in an uncontrolled way, They might have a fever, so please check baby's temperature, right? They might have a runny nose, etc. Whenever that's the case, all you can do really is see a pediatrician.
Yeah.
And if they tell you that it's only just a cold, then you can try natural treatments to help your baby. We have already recorded a video on this topic that you can find below this video.
Yes, and then of course when a baby is crying, it could obviously also be because of pain. And obviously it's very difficult to identify pain as such, but the two most common forms of pain are teething pain and tummy aches. Now, you might ask yourself, how are you supposed to know if it is teething pain or tummy ache, right? Well, luckily, it is not so much of a problem to find out if your baby is teething or not. You can find more information on how to do that in the description below this video.
Yes, when it comes to tummy aches, on the other hand, it is important to keep in mind that there are several things which can cause it. It could just be a general discomfort that almost all babies suffer from every now and then, right? It could also be because baby is constipated, but it could also be colic if your baby is still very little. But don't worry, we already recorded videos for each and every scenario to help your baby. You can find them in the description below this video.
Yes, and then finally, please keep in mind that like grown-ups, sometimes babies are just not in a good mood. And when that's the case, it can be very difficult to please them. The other thing is, please keep in mind that if your baby is crying in an uncontrolled way, so that it makes you worried about baby's well-being, the first thing you should do is always talk to your pediatrician. It's always good to be able to exclude more severe medical problems while your baby is crying.
Yes, and then of course there are also tricks to help a baby calm down that you can apply on top of everything else that we talked about in this video. In fact, we recorded a video which shows you lots of alternative ways to help a baby calm down. This video is supposed to pop up now. If it does not, you can also find it in the description below this video.
Right. If you have found this video helpful, we would be super grateful if you could leave us a like below this video.
Yes, and for more useful tips and tools on pregnancy and baby related topics, make sure to subscribe to our channel and to hit the bell.